Now just withdrawing the needle, officially you just take this, press this and then withdraw the needle. Yes, press the area and then close it. Okay. Yeah, you just take all the needles. We should place like this where the swab is there more. Yeah, okay. Good. Yes. Disposable container we should keep, right? I think please mute somebody. Who is that? Please comment in the Zoom. Now I wanted to show you is the proportional measurement. Now proportionally from here to here how many chones? Yes, 12 chone. Wonderful. From here to from the elbow crease to the wrist crease, totally how many chone? 12 chone. From the elbow crease to the shoulder, 9 chone. Right. So now we try to find out. Now if we come like this, 3 chone and then 3, 6 chone, then 9 chone, then only it's coming as a 10 chone only. It's coming totally 10 chone. Now I wanted to measure from here to here, and this is called as this is half. That means this is a 6 chone. This is 6 chone. Now I wanted to measure from here to here, this to be known as a 3 chone. 3 plus 3, 6 chone. So in this way we measure, because the beyondly the point is LU, that is Li6, 3 chone proximal. From here 3 chone proximal to this region, we can use this point especially on the interosseous muscles. This also works for the radial now. So we just apply this point, Li6 point, towards the energy flow of the large intestine. If I wanted to use the same point to communicate to the lungs, in the same direction on the opposite, same place, opposite direction, I just activate to communicate to the lungs as well. So one particular point, 2 different direction of the needling. So in this way we just activate towards the energy flow. We understand about the Luo connecting pathway. The energy starts from the Hegu, then it ascends upward direction and then communicating to the shoulder. From the shoulder it's reaching to the one branch, it reaches to the ear, the another branch it goes to the other region of the gums. This is the Luo connecting pathway, right? And interiorly that communicating to the lungs, and then further it descends to the downwards direction and communicating to the intestine as well. So therefore anything there is the large intestine problem, Luo connecting point, that means is the communicating between the 2 organs. One is the coupled organs. Large intestine belongs to the husband, and then large intestine belongs to the husband and lungs belongs to the wife, combined together, merge together, meet to each other. Please be seated. So now in this way we just apply the Pionli is the Luo connecting point. How the LU7 we apply? LU7 is the communicating point to the lungs and then large intestine. Li6 is the communicating point to the large intestine and then lungs together. If we wanted to use the source point of the same meridian or the source point of the lungs meridian, together we just activate. In this protocol you can do the combination using the Li4, Li6 together or Li6 and LU9 together to be recommended. LU9 is the source point. So try to understand what is the luo connecting point or the passage point or the veering point or the nexary point or the communicating point or the branching point or the meeting point. So now how we try to understand. Always you remember what is luo. Luo means is the, according to the Chinese, there is the door. There is a window. There is a door to come inside. In the same way, there is the passage to reach the other destination. So, luo is indicating transporting or exchanging or meeting to the other meridian. So, which meridian it's meeting? Coupled meridian. So, large intestine coupled meridian is lungs. So, large intestine belongs to the yang nature, then it is communicating to the yin nature point to be known as a lungs. Then now one luo connecting point you activated, then the source point to be receive the energy. Source point, it receives the energy. Luo connecting point, it transfers the energy. When we combine together, initial stages when the patient is suffering for the common cold, you remember there is the conflict between the husband and wife. When there is the metabolism problem or the defecation problem or there is the lungs problem. When there is the large intestine having the problem, not necessarily required to get the constipation, the whole meridian is affected, not the intestine is affected. According to the Huangdi, Niqing, Suwen, the Qipos conversation, the pathogens, evil pathogens, the disease exterior pathogens affects preliminarily to the collaterals. This called as a collateral. Collateral or the luo connecting point, both are the same. Nexary point is the same. Passage point is the same. Door point is the same. Right. So now we understand each other. When we wanted to combine together, when having the conflict, as I told you, so that time when the meridian get blockages, because in the beginning stages not affected the internal organ, only the meridian is affected through these collaterals. When affecting to the internal organ, that later period, not very immediately. When the disease manifestation to be taken place surface level, that we feel the some kind of the imbalances or symptoms. Timely. When the internal organ is viscera is affected, then that to be known as a chronic condition, not as an acute condition. So that particular time, when we wanted to use as a in between the two organs, because the lungs is affected, then the kidneys will affected. When the kidneys are affected, then the liver is affected. When the liver is affected, then the heart is affected. The heart is affected, then the spleen will going to affect. When the spleen is affected, then lungs will be affected. This is a cycle. This is for the chronic conditions, not for the acute conditions. When the large intestine is affected, lungs is affected, only the two organs are affected. That not affected to the spleen, that's not affected to the heart also. In the same way, when initial stages the person is suffering for the mild to moderate problems, there is a conflict between the Zhang and then Fu, yin and then yang, husband and wife, intermittent, continuously working organs, hollow organ, solid organ. You try to correct in between these two, the collaterals, the Qipo said to the Huangdi. You just bleed all the collaterals. When the patient is complaining about any problem, then first point to be done is a bleed the collaterals. Then we should bleed to this guy. To be done. No harm. You understand, sir, ನನಗೇನು ರೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಕುಚ್ಚಿ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ತೀರ ನನಗೆ, ಬ್ಲೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರಕ್ತ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು, ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ತೆಗೆದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೀರಾ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತೀರಾ? ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಾಯಿ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ? ಎರಡೂ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಾ? ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಮಂಜುಳಾ? ಹಾಂ but we can bleed it. How should we bleed it? Just I'll show you, just is one prick. So already done 2 needles, just I am inserting the needle here, as the lancet needle is a 3-edged needle, just inserted. So now this to be known as a, if I wanted to withdraw, we can withdraw the bleeding also. Let it be there for some time, or we can withdraw. So we can use like this, and then we need to press it so that the blood comes out.